Hi, I'm Tom Jacobs with Mid-America Regional Council. We're building a climate resilience plan for Metro Kansas City. And Scott Schulte is one of our real experts on green infrastructure, which is a key theme for this week's focus on food and land. Scott's got an impressive history in working in this topic. He's a longtime planner at Vireo. He founded the Heartland Conservation Alliance. He's currently teaching at University of Kansas. So Scott, thank you for helping us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So my first question is, what is green infrastructure and why is it important?
Okay, sure. Green infrastructure, that refers to landscapes that provide important ecosystem services in the urban environment. And these are services upon which all life depends, both human life and communities as well as nature. Areas like woodlands and wetlands and prairies and stream corridors that are really the backbone of our natural environment. But it can also include human-made infrastructure that's designed to incorporate native vegetation and to mimic those natural landscape processes in an urban environment. And green infrastructure is great because it can help both mitigate climate change by drawing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, locking it up in plants and storing it in the soil to make our soil healthier and more able to absorb stormwater. And then green infrastructure can help us mitigate climate change by reducing flooding and storm flows, by helping cool the urban environment through shade, and especially when you combine green infrastructure and water, you can use shade trees to cool riparian corridors, which is like having a web of air conditioning in your city. If you've ever biked or hiked on an urban streamway trail in the middle of the summer, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, thanks. So since you bring a wealth of planning, policy, and design experience to this whole conversation, what do you think is missing from a policy perspective that could help advance the protection and restoration of natural resources around the community?
Yeah, sure. Let me talk about three examples. First of all, I mentioned native vegetation. I'm talking about the trees and the prairie grasses and the wildflowers and the shrubs that evolved in this area and that are native to this area. And they are so great because they're adapted to our climate, and they also can draw that carbon down. They have deep roots to soak the carbon and the runoff into the soil. But we need to make sure that that is legal everywhere. So we need ordinances that both allow and encourage native vegetation throughout our landscapes in residential, commercial, and industrial areas and in transportation. Second, we need tree protection ordinances because we don't want to lose the urban tree canopy we have right now. We've got these beautiful wooded and forested areas throughout the region, and we see them getting clear cut all the time. We need to preserve that existing green infrastructure while we have it. But then what's near and dear to my heart is actually stream buffers. We need a robust system of stream buffers in this region. So it starts with setback ordinances where we preserve the entire floodplain to do its job, which is to allow flow for floodwaters and to protect us from flooding by keeping occupied structures and infrastructure and people out of the floodplain. At the same time that we keep ourselves out of the floodplain, we're protecting that river. And then we can also go in and enhance that floodplain. So we've got a lot of gaps in the floodplain where we could actually restore wetlands and woodlands. Think about it, if we plant millions of trees in the floodplains throughout our region, we can actually slow down stormwater. We can actually sequester more carbon in the atmosphere. We can actually start to reverse the effects of global warming and the effects of flooding in our region. At the same time, we create this healthy, beautiful network of greenways for trails and for wildlife. I really see what we need as it's like a 21st century Kansas City Conservation Corps, where folks are going out and planting these floodplain forests, and then we'll be tending them over the next decades, which will be a great job creator for our region as well.
Outstanding. One last question for you. What's your vision for a climate resilient Kansas City metro region?
Wow, it's a big question, but I think if I could boil it down into a simple answer, I'd say if you go all over the world right now, Kansas City in our region is known for its beautiful 19th and 20th century parks and boulevard system. In the 21st century, I'd like people to look back and say that Kansas City built on that legacy with a beautiful greenways and blueways system that helped us become a thriving and beautiful and livable city as our climate changes, and should help the world see how we can adapt and thrive and have a beautiful 21st century city, even as the world around us changes.
Thanks, Scott. So if Scott's ideas have spurred your interest, please join us at climateactionkc.mindmixer.com. And you can share your vision to advance natural resource stewardship in Metro Kansas City. Thank you.
Great, thank you.